talkSPORT Euro Game Day Breakfast.
So, Cass, there's a little bit of a chance for us to look ahead then to England as they face Croatia tomorrow at Wembley, 2 o'clock live here on talkSPORT. And maybe a chance to sort of look at where England are at right now from when they played at the World Cup of 2018 and reached the semi-finals. And when you think back to that semi-final against Croatia, how big a missed opportunity was that for England? And what did Gareth Southgate, if at all, get wrong in that semi-final?
Well, I think he learned. I mean, look, England started with an ambition. Their fullbacks were Kieran Trippier and Ashley Young, and they pushed forward. England got the lead from a fabulous free kick by Trippier. Second half, it was really weird because Man City did this against PSG and it worked in their favour. They went 1-0 down away from home in the Champions League game. It was the best thing that could have happened to Man City because after that moment they changed the way they played and they got far more adventurous. The fullbacks pushed forward because they weren't doing that against PSG. Now in England's case, Gareth's second half, he's obviously got concerned because they changed things around Croatia. Rebic went one way and then Perisic the other side, both changed. Caused England no end of problems out wide, and that came at a price. And the two fullbacks, Ashley Young had a really rough night second half, and obviously Trippier, they got pinned back. And once they got pinned back, Croatia dominated the ball. Modric in midfield got on it, moved it around, caused England problems, and eventually they got their goal and took it to extra time. And they obviously, Mandzukic got the winning goal. But they paid a price, I felt, for not being still staying with that ambition. Italy last night, they went 1-0 up, and it was an own goal. Old Italian teams, most of them would have tried to hang on, not be too adventurous, getting forward in dangerous positions.
Be that resolute defence that we know.
They continued. England didn't do that against Croatia. They did it for the first half. Second half, they didn't do that at all.
Do you think that, though, part of that might have been a bit of nerves? Likewise with Croatia, but not being in that situation before, knowing that you're 1-0 up and you are technically a game away then from reaching the final of the World Cup.
Yeah, look, none of the flair players for England played well that night, I didn't think. You know, Harry Kane had been terrific, got 6 goals, but was really on the fringe of the game most of the night against Croatia. Jesse Lingard couldn't get into the game. Dele Alli was finding it hard to have an impact. So the players in forward positions couldn't really make the difference. Their whole tournament, I mean, they went on a bit of a venture and look, you're going to have to probably win a penalty shootout, which they did against Colombia. 1-1 draw, won a penalty shootout. They went to extra time, certainly against Colombia and then against Croatia. Their group phase was a strange one because they beat Tunisia in the opening game, just slightly getting front 2-1. They smashed Panama and then they lost to Belgium. So there were some indifferent performances. That Sweden was an interesting one because at 1-0, when they went 1-0 up against Sweden, Pickford pulled off 2 or 3 fantastic saves in that game and then ended up winning 2-0. So I think they would have learned a lot about that tournament which they have to take on board this weekend and into these games.
Well, this is what I was going to ask you because you're quite right. When it came to playing, let's say, the more elite opposition, England came unstuck. Belgium twice because they lost that third, fourth playoff place as well. Obviously lost to Croatia in the semi-finals. So what will Gareth Southgate have learned from that 2018 World Cup that he will now take into this European Championships?
Well, you have to be against a very good team. You have to be adaptable. And you might have to change formation. You might have to change personnel. That's what Croatia did to England. And there are other elite teams that can do that. Because if you're hurting them, they will change. And they'll try and change to hurt you back. So it's a big thing. I didn't think England were very adaptable in that tournament. And you're right, losing to Belgium twice and obviously getting knocked out by Croatia, you'd expect England to beat Panama. You'd expect England to go and get the difference against Colombia and Tunisia. You'd expect that. So their tournament was mixed and they made the semi-final. If they learn to be far better against the very good sides, I think then England have certainly got a chance. I'm not as positive about as England as I would have been a month ago. I think injuries have played a part. Gareth has still got to prove himself as a manager at tournaments. It's a given. England always qualify, and even when they don't, the managers go from the job. Okay, qualification is quite simple for England most of the time.
In the main, yeah.
In the main, they'll qualify comfortably, like they did this time. So It's not really the test. The test is tournament. Gareth's had one, got to a semi-final. There's lots of good things, the youth of the team. There was a new drive. He's done loads of great things, Gareth. But on performance and results, what you saw in World Cup 18 was far more positive than negative. But they've got to take this into this tournament and got to show what they're capable. And have they become a better team? I think they've got a better squad than 18.
Do you think they're a better team?
Yeah, I think if he can get it right, get the selection right.
But not squad, I mean team in terms of
First
what you've seen on the
most
pitch.
definitely. I think certainly if you've got Foden, Mount and Grealish coming in, from where you were, I think that's a much, much better offensive proposition for the opposition to try and negate and stop them. I think England are in a good place. I do think central midfield, especially against Croatia, and I've touched on it, is an issue because they've got 3 very experienced players who will test you and they'll find a way. Croatia found a way against England, and the very best teams will. They'll change. England have got to be prepared to change if it's not working, and that's where Gareth will be tested as a manager.
Obviously, they face Croatia tomorrow live on talkSPORT. There's obviously Scotland then to come, on Friday, and then the Czech Republic finish things off.
It's a really tough group, Nat.
I do agree with you. I don't think it's a formality that England will top the group with ease, and especially when you consider if you do top the group, who you will face after that, which will be the runner-up of Group F, which is the group of death.
Yeah.
Does tactical thinking come into it at all? What
yes,
about that?
What on the groups?
Yeah,
no,
come into it at all?
I don't really necessarily go along with you want to get this certain team. I don't think it's as simple as the Champions League format.
Yeah,
I think sometimes you just go do what you do, get the confidence, the belief within the squad, knowing that you're going to take on the very best somewhere along the line. England really, for me, in the World Cups 18. Obviously, Croatia was the best team they faced. I know that was the end of the tournament, but they were the best side they'd faced and had difficulty. In the first half, I thought their game plan was spot on. I thought they were brave. They got forward, made things a problem for Croatia. And second half, it was completely different.